Today we're going to be talking about how to uncrate and do the initial setup for a Xante X-33 UV flatbed printer. First thing to know, this printer will easily go through any door that you have, whether it be a single door or duplex, roll up, doesn't matter, it'll go through them. First thing you want to do is you want to locate your toolkit to access the wrenches that you'll need to uncrate the printer. One thing that will be handy is to have a drill and a 14mm or a 9/16 ratchet bit on the end of it. That'll help removing the bolts. So what you first want to do is remove the 12 bolts that are holding the lid to the crate. Now the lid should just lift off the top of the crate and to access the inside. Now you want to use the small drill bit that is included with the packet and remove the 3 crossbars that are in the middle of the crate. Once you have removed the screws holding the crossbars, they should just lift out and they can be set aside. The next step would be to remove the accessories inside the crate that come along with the printer. Now use your drill bit to remove the 12 bolts that are fastening the side panels to the base of the pallet. Once the base screws are removed, you should be able to use 2 or more people to lift the sides of the sides of the crate and lift it straight up and over the printer to set aside. So now it's time to remove the plastic covering the printer so that way you can access the stand. So now it's time to remove the stand parts. We have 2 stand options and we're going to show you one of those stand options here today. As you put together your stand, keep in mind that it's a good idea to go ahead and install the stand in the location where the printer will be set up and used. First, remove the plastic film from the arms of the stand. Once you have unwrapped the bubble wrap from each component of the stand pieces, then remove the film on the stand itself. First, loosen the bolts, but not so much that the nut falls off the bottom. Now slide the side arm of the stand onto the bolts, and the nut of the bolt should slide in through the channels. Use a 6mm Allen wrench to hand tighten the bolts just to keep the leg steady. Repeat this process on all 4 corners. So the easiest way to do the opposite side of the stand is to leave it standing up and use 2 people to gently lower the other side from above. Finger tighten the bolts on all 4 corners of the stand. Once it's assembled, gently lower it to the floor before fully tightening. Once the stand is assembled, now just remove the remaining packing material from around your printer, and then the support brackets fastening the printer to the base of the pallet. If you need to get your printer standing up to be able to fit through a single door, all you need is the cart that we can ship with the printer, and it also ships with the red block that prevents the bed from sliding backwards whenever you put it up on the stand. To install the block, simply place it right beside the rail of the bed and slide it back gently. Now place your cart in the position behind the printer. Place the foam onto the back of the printer to protect it from the cart. After you have placed your cart, go ahead and lock the wheels so that it doesn't move. Now gently raise the front end of the printer using the front 2 handles for the feet. Now you can go ahead and unlock your wheels. And you can either use the handle, pick up the handle so it doesn't get tangled. And now you can wheel your printer through the door and to its final location. Once you get your printer situated in its final place, please do not forget to remove the wooden block that prevents the bed from moving.
Back a little bit.
Once you have the printer on the stand, you can access the waste ink container and remove the original small container from the printer. Locate your large waste ink tank and connect the two ends directly to the Y connectors coming from the printer. All right, now that we have our printer installed in our final location, we want to first go ahead and load up the inks. So we have a bulk ink system here. So we just remove the cap for the color ink that we're going to remove. And we just want to do these one at a time, because if we were to open up all of these ink containers, you are leaving the ink exposed to light, which could begin the curing process of the ink and cause it to damage faster than it should. Another thing you want to do is when you decide on your final location for installation of the printer, you want to try to keep it away from any windows. That way, to get the best results. Because windows will bring in light that can have UV rays that will also perform the same thing. And so you just want to stay away from that as best you can. All right, so initially, when you grab your first bottle of new ink, you want to give it a good shake up the ink. And then when you open it, you want to have a single pour hole in the front. You can make it a little bit bigger than so it comes out nice and clean. And then you want to have a small vent hole on the opposite side of the pour hole. So just pour your ink in your tank. The tanks are 500 milliliters, which is the same amount that the ink bottle has. So you should fit pretty much the entire container of ink into your bulk ink system. When you're done, you can toss away this initial bottle if it's empty. If you were able to put the whole bottle into the bulk ink system. If you have any ink left over, what you want to do is you want to make sure you write down the date that the ink was opened so that you can keep track and make sure that you keep the freshest ink in the system as possible. And when you're done filling, just go ahead and cap your bulk ink system back up and then continue on to the next color. And when you get to your white inks, I recommend to fill each white ink container up about halfway and split the bottle up between the two tanks initially. And then continue filling as needed. Once you have your inks filled, we want to remove the tape securing the bed protector to the bed. So now we want to go ahead and plug in the power to the printer. Turn on the main power switch. And then turn on the front panel power, which is right here. And immediately go ahead and hold the up button to raise your gantry up so that you can remove your bed protector. The next step would be to go ahead and prime our dampers. So then we open up our lid here. Then inside the toolkit that comes with the printer, you will find a syringe like this one. This is what we will use to pull ink through the dampers, which are these right here, and to prime the ink to that point. So to do that, you would just rock the damper back and forth to gently remove it from the top of the print head. Connect the syringe to the bottom of the damper, to the port on the bottom of the damper. Put gentle pressure onto the bottom of the damper and gently pull back on the plunger of the syringe. You should have a nice steady ink flow with no bubbles. Once you have that, you can go ahead and connect your damper back to the print head and continue on to the next damper. As you grab these dampers, be sure to only grab them on the ends where the hard plastic is. You don't want to grab them from the sides like this. On the side here is a thin, flimsy piece of plastic called a diaphragm, and that is what actually holds the pressure of the ink to the print head, so if that gets damaged, then the damper will need to be replaced. If you get bubbles as you're pulling ink through the dampers, that just means that there's air in the lines, and so you just want to keep a constant steady pressure on the backflow of ink so that you get rid of that air in the line and you get a steady flow. As you're priming the dampers, you may hear the printer start to play a song, a lullaby at you. And if you come back here, you will see these blue LED indicators blinking. That's an indicator that the ink level has gotten past the sensor. And so at that point, you would just need to come in here and just refill whatever color is needed. If you fill the tanks all the way up, it's not likely going to happen on any color, but possibly the white. So at this point, now that we've got our dampers primed, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and drain that ink through our print head so that our print head is also primed. And the way we do that is we come here to the menu of the printer, press the enter button, scroll down to maintenance, hit enter, scroll down to manual pump, press enter. And now that all is selected with the asterisk, we'll go ahead and hit enter here. And that'll start the manual pump process. And you want to wait typically around 20 seconds or so, or you can also open the lid of your waste ink container until you see a good steady flow of ink that's flowing through the waste ink lines into the container. Now to stop the pumping, just press the exit button to the left of the enter button. Hit exit to stop. And anytime we do a manual pump, we want to go ahead and run a couple of cleaning cycles. So we want to go ahead and exit out of the menu completely. Just hit exit button 2 more times. And now press the clean button on the front panel and hit enter to begin the process. And when it finishes, we're going to repeat that clean 1 more time. Now the first cleaning cycle is done. We'll go ahead and repeat that 1 more time. Okay. Second cleaning is done. So now you want to locate the box of clear film that comes with the printer. It's in a brown box. Just take out one of those sheets. We're going to position our bed towards the back of the printer using the front button. Load one of those sheets onto the printer that will be in line with the print head. Now we want to turn on our bed suction. And press the test button right here. This will print a nozzle test to let us know how well our nozzles of our print head are firing. And if you have a less than perfect nozzle test, what you would want to do is repeat those last 2 steps where you want to run the manual pump again for another 15 to 20 seconds, do 2 more cleanings, and then print the nozzle test 1 more time. So after your nozzle check completes, you will see a pattern similar to that print onto your transparency. Now your printer is primed and ready to print. So now the next step would be to install and learn the exciting new features of iQ.